have a situation that leads to what's known as leaky gut. How many of you have heard of leaky gut before? Okay. Fortunately, more and more people are hearing about this. It's becoming one of the most researched topics out there. No. Close. It's the cells of bacterial makeup in our gut. So you've heard of good bacteria and bad bacteria, right? So what do we want more of? The good ones. The good ones are there and necessary for our optimal digestion and health and actually mood. Did you know that the gut is one of the primary centers for the creation of serotonin, right? Which is dependent upon healthy bacteria. And so here's some known causes of microbiome depletion, meaning the bad bacteria are taking over. So cesarean section. Why do you think cesarean section is a problem?
You don't go through the vaginal canal where you get most of your microbiome.
Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword though too, because if the mother's microbiome is not very healthy, then that's actually passed on to the child. They're finding now that many children with various neurodevelopmental disorders, actually the mothers have autoimmune disorders themselves or subclinical autoimmune issues. I know that's the case with my wife. You know, she's definitely showing a lot of autoimmune situations. So it's a double-edged sword. But what they're doing, some doctors are actually using a swab and taking that and applying some of the mother's microbiome material into the child's oral cavity. Antibiotics, why are those a problem? Yeah, it kills everything. They don't discriminate between good and bad, and when it wipes everything out, the bad bacteria like bullies, they take over and they start to cause massive damage. Acetaminophen, Tylenol has been shown to negatively affect the microbiome. Also, inability to breastfeed. Why is that a problem?
Because there's all kinds of probiotics in breast milk.
Probiotics, great nutrition. Yeah, there's so much positive nutrition in the breast milk. Also, more of the microbiome can be passed on. And a hypersympathetic response. We're going to talk a lot about that. I think that's one of the most under-recognized issues affecting not only children, but all people in general. So it leads to a situation known as leaky gut. A leaky gut means what it sounds like, that the gut, which should do what? What is the gut there for? For digestion and what else?
Energy absorption.
Absorption. Immune system. And your body takes in a lot of stuff. We don't keep it all.
Detoxification.
Making sure to get out the toxins and not let them into the body, right? Keep also bacteria, parasites, things like that out of the bloodstream. So if there's holes, if the gut is porous, if it's allowing materials into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there, like bacteria, other pathogens, proteins, undigested food particles, what does the body intelligently do in those situations? What does it do?
Have symptoms.
It will, because what does it do when it detects it? It reacts and attacks it, right? If there's an invader, it will start to attack those areas, and it creates inflammation. Okay, and inflammation is a big, is good in a temporary situation. But what about chronic inflammation? What does that do to the body?
Causes problems and eventually cancer.
Yeah, massive health problems and breakdown. Long enough with all the situation, it leads to all these autoimmune reactions. It leads to hypersensitivities to lots of foods. How many of your kids have hypersensitivities, allergies, eczema, things like that? Right? So if the food's not being digested fully, and those things get into the bloodstream, the body recognizes that it should attack it. So every time they eat something that normally they wouldn't be allergic to, all of a sudden they're hypersensitive to lots of foods. And ultimately leads to what's known as leaky brain. It creates this inflammation, starts to break down the blood-brain barrier, and starts to create brain inflammation as well. time. This leads to multiple toxicities and deficiencies, malabsorption as well. When my son was at his worst, he was frail, he was skinny. It felt like we were shoveling food into him, yet he wasn't gaining weight. Why? He wasn't absorbing it. He wasn't getting the nutrients. So it took time. That change in his diet over time allowed his gut to heal, and then he started to gain weight.